Hello, I'm Brandon Dutcher, OCPA's Vice President for Policy, and I'm here today with Tara Ross, an attorney who is also the author of the book Enlightened Democracy, The Case for the Electoral College, which looks splendid. It has endorsements by George Will, Ed Meese, Ken Starr, and lots of heavy hitters. Tara is in town to educate Oklahoma lawmakers and other policymakers on the dangers posed by this movement called National Popular Vote, which has reared its head in Oklahoma. Thank you for coming up to help us.
I'm glad to be here.
The founders, of course, gave us the Electoral College, but this new movement, National Popular Vote, essentially eliminates it without having to go to the trouble of amending the Constitution. Explain to us, what is this National Popular Vote?
They've had this creative idea that if states change the way they allocate their electors, so instead of Oklahoma giving its electors to the winner of Oklahoma's vote, they would give their electors to the winner of the national popular vote.
Okay.
So this year, when Oklahomans vote for Mitt Romney, they still have to give all of their electors to Barack Obama. And by the way, if California had this plan in effect, it would do something like award its electors to George W. Bush, even though California went overwhelmingly for John Kerry. So the idea is that if you get enough states to do this, then you have a national popular vote without actually going through the formal amendment process and formally getting rid of the Electoral College.
Oklahoma is one of the most conservative states in the country. We have a profound respect for the Founding Fathers and for the Electoral College and the history of liberty. Why would this be rearing its head in Oklahoma, and Republicans of all people pushing it?
National Popular Vote has a very appealing soundbite, and they say to legislators such as yours, look, this is a center-right country. Shouldn't it be electing center-right presidents? If we had a national popular vote, that's what would happen. Presidential candidates would allegedly spend more time in the flyover red states. Well, I'm here to tell you that's just foolish to think that that's what would happen. What would really happen is that presidential candidates would go to where the most people are, because they need the most people to vote for them. So they would go to the big urban centers, where, by the way, the political machines in those cities would have a lot more control over election outcomes than they do now. So think Los Angeles, San Francisco, even if you're a Republican, maybe you'd run down to Dallas or Houston, but these are the cities that would matter in the national popular vote.
I'm thinking, we spend a lot of time around here talking about economic illiteracy. I mean, you see policies that come up, minimum wage or punitive taxation, and people just don't understand economics. Do you think this movement is an outgrowth of our civic illiteracy and our lack of historical understanding about the Electoral College and the freedom that it protects?
Look, nobody teaches you about the Electoral College in school. I learned about it by myself. Nobody taught it to me. I think what's happening here is a lot like what happened in South Dakota, I think it was 2 years ago, where a bunch of Republican legislators thought the soundbite sounded great. They sponsored the legislation. The Republican sponsor ended up pulling his own legislation or he asked it to be tabled after he learned more about it. I really think education about the Electoral College is what will fix this problem. The Electoral College serves all of us. It serves Democrats. It serves Republicans. It is not a partisan institution. It is an institution that ensures that our presidential candidates have to appeal to a wide variety of Americans. They can't rely on one region. One region does not get you a majority of states' electoral votes, or one special interest group. One special interest group cannot do that for you. Either of those groups could give you a plurality of individual votes that you might need to win an election.